The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Cowboys StoryLine with Nick Eatman.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Cowboys StoryLine. I am Nick Eatman. It is Friday, September 13th. Friday the 13th, if you believe in that kind of stuff. Should be a fun day. I've never seen that movie once, any of those movies at one time, so I don't know. I just know I just always heard about Friday the 13th. I don't think anything crazy happens. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how this show goes. Maybe we can get 13 callers. We've been right around there. I got 13 or 14 yesterday. I guess the less that I talk here, the more we can get to the call. So let's roll to that. 888-855-2297. You can text the show also, 817-290-3298. Injury report is kind of what it is. Still looking at Jake Ferguson. We'll see if he has a shot to play. He has not practiced the first 2 days of the week, Wednesday, Thursday. You'd like for him to be able to do some of that, but he's kind of ramping himself up. And Dak sounded optimistic about it, maybe, but he also said if Luke Schoonmaker plays, he has complete confidence in him as well. So looking at him on the injury report, he did not practice, and neither did John Stevens with the hamstring injury. So both those tight ends, that could be an issue that they're going to have to deal with. Good news on rookie Marshawn Nealon. He's got a calf injury. He was limited yesterday. On Thursday, we'll see if he can get himself ready to play. All right. Let's go to the phone lines. Michael in Colton, California, has a knack about being first on the show. Maybe he calls like 30 minutes ago. I'm not sure. But, Michael, you're up. What's up, man?
Let's go. Shout out to the whole Cowboys Nation. Happy Friday to everybody. And I just want to give I think the storyline to this game right here is going to be our running game, finding its legs, I think we're going to get that going. I think that's what we'll be talking about at the end of the day. Okay. But for a score prediction, I want to say that my score prediction is going to be 34 Cowboys and 21 the Saints, and we're going to get that W. And that's it. Hey, Nick, I just want to say thank you very much for my storyline shirt, and I got a shirt going your way. I was just talking to Chris, but you have a great day, and Thank you guys very much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Man. Michael, if that shirt says the Show Me State, that would be the coolest thing of all time. I doubt that's what it is, but if it does say that, and if you know on that, Michael in Colton, California,
would you wear it?
That's my guy. Yeah, I would wear that thing. I would definitely wear it when Arkansas plays Missouri. I would definitely wear the California is the Show Me State for sure. It was one of those things. If you don't know, it was the call right after the season ended in the terrible loss to the Packers, and Michael he got after me a little bit, and it was fun. We had a good back and forth. But Michael always calls right off the bat. He's a leadoff hitter for the most part on our lineup here. He says the running game is going to be an issue, or not issue. He's going to be a storyline in this game, and I don't disagree with that. I think the Cowboys need to establish that they can run the football. I said it, yesterday. I think you've got, about an identity. You've got to show you can win in a lot of different ways, and I think that's the best way for the Cowboys to show that yes, they can run the football. They got to get a lead. A score like he predicted, 34-21, very similar to what I have. In a game like that, looks like you are going to have to run the ball. You're going to have to run out the clock. They're not too far behind you, and you're going to have to figure out a way to put them away. And being balanced and being able to run that clock is probably the best way to do that. All right, let's go with Zach in Germany.
Nick, what's going on, man?
How are you doing?
Good. I think it's time. I have to specify. I'm in Kaiserslautern, Germany. I know we got Reggie calling from way up north. I don't think I can claim a whole country for myself anymore. So,
well, that's what for us here in Texas. I mean, Germany's Germany, and I don't know the difference of everything, but yes, for sure. And whatever you just said, I would never be able to write down on my sheet. So I'm just going to go with Germany, if that's okay.
Fair enough. And next week, I'll try to call. I'll be in a different country for work, so I'll try to give you a call, but
all right.
Add to the list.
Cool.
So, what I want to go over today I'll be honest. I'm really surprised nobody else has mentioned it. I am not a big fan of the Dak contract, and I'll give my reasoning. I wanted us to sign Dak, but at that price point, I think it was a failure on the Cowboys' end, and I'll tell you why. A couple factors. We gave Dak a good contract the first time around, and in some ways you also have to earn that. But the second piece is, and he's earned it in certain ways, but obviously the back end of the playoff push, hasn't gotten there. Where I'm concerned with is, once again, it's a contract that he has all the control in. No trade clause, can't franchise tag him, 4-year deal, and he's the highest paid player. When you look at him and CD now, as a combined total, that's $90 million a year allotted into 2 players. The second piece is, when you look at teams or championship caliber mindset, which he has to a certain extent, but you look at the guys like Mahomes and Brady over the years where they were willing to either take a little bit less to build the team around them, those are the guys that are going to have their names, in that legacy category. Dak's made a lot of money throughout his career, and he obviously just got paid again. But I'll tell you, whoever wins a Super Bowl for the Cowboys after a 30-year drought, that guy's going to be put in a different category,
Yeah.
And so I'm a little disappointed in that. And it's not that I didn't want Dak to get paid. I think 45 to 50 would have been, sufficient. And like I said, he's definitely made his money, especially off the first contract and other deals. I was just really surprised that that number has a 6 in front of it instead of something a little bit more realistic. So that's what I have to say. I want to hear your feedback.
But you know what, Zach? They wanted it. They did not want to drag this along. They wanted to get it done. It was important for them to get it done. So Dak held the cards. He said, "You want to get it done? That's fine. This is the number. It starts with a 6. If you don't want to get it done, then that's fine. We'll take a chance.
Sure.
And it's always a chance. The Cowboy. I mean, think about if you're the Dolphins. You just paid a lot of money for Tua. Is he going to play? I mean, when? And so it's a risk that all of them have to take. I mean, you can play it out and play that game, or you can say we don't want to do that. We want to sign him up. So. But
I think that's where the difference is, though. Like, I think if they would have held firm in that regard too, because isn't at the same time he's kind of talking out of both sides there too, saying, "Hey, money's not important, but now you want to be the highest paid with 6 in front of it." So, it's a give and take. And what I'm implying is, I'm a basketball fan. Jalen Brunson, he was a Dallas guy, came to New York. He took $120 million less than if he would have signed the max contract next year, and he wants to build a team around him. Mahomes is the 12th highest paid player in the league. He's not even a top 10 paid quarterback, and obviously we all believe he's the best out there. But he's winning Super Bowls because he could put players around him to build that team. And Dak's proven he needs guys around him. And next year and the year after, it's going to get harder and harder to do that when you have, like I said, $90 million, top receiver, top quarterback. That's almost half of our cap. I know it's 240, 250. But it's a significant budget into 2 players. And it's not that they're not talented, but, are we just going to get more of the same? So,
All right. Good thought there. Appreciate the call, Zach, from Germany. Not many people have had that thought about, that it's not. I think more than anything, people just wanted the deal to be done. Who's our quarterback this year? We knew that, but who's the quarterback next year moving forward? And so that's probably, I think, why most people are kind of just happy that it's done. And, yeah, you'll deal with the cap. You'll deal with it when you deal with it. But, that's a good thought there, by Zach, to not just say, all right, well, this is what my team did, and I'm excited about it. Good, it's okay to have your opinion, and that was and you might be right. I mean, that's kind of my point about the Tua. Situation. You can sign somebody and then they get hurt and then the deal doesn't look good, and you always knock on wood on that. It's always it's risk reward there when you're trying to get these deals done. So, all right, let's go to Esteban in Austin.
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's been a while since I've been able to get through to talk to you, and so I'm happy to be able to get. Always enjoy the show, though, and I've been really excited with the whole off season. Started off slow, but it's starting to take shape. Everything that they did, it seems like they were pretty methodical about everything that they, the signings, the draft picks. It wasn't like they just sat back and waited for stuff to happen. But one thing I'm a little bit concerned with is just the run game. I don't think that they have enough to go very far with it. I think it's lacking a little, and I don't know if it would be the scheme or the runners. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I mean, what are we going off of here? Like, I mean, like that's my thing. I don't want to jump to anything here. I mean, they ran the ball. They moved the ball when they needed to, and once they led at halftime, and then Turpin scored, the game was over. I mean, the game was over at that point. So I don't know. I didn't have any worries about the running game in the first half. I thought they moved the ball fine. So it's like almost like a preseason game. I saw it in the first half. Now in the second half doesn't matter because it was not a real performance, a real test for what yes, they could have run the ball, but they're being very vanilla, and the Browns are daring them to kind of throw it. They know they're not going to throw it, and they're a good run defense. So, that was like the Jets game last year in Week 2, where I'm not worried about that. I'm not saying the running game's fixed. I just haven't seen enough yet, so I can't be worried about it just yet.
Yeah, I guess I'm just hoping that going forward they're able to find their stride, and I'm not sure that the runners we have. I don't know. Maybe we do, and I'm just. I do, however, like the passing game. I think Mike McCarthy called a really good game. I think towards the end they just didn't execute and weren't able to close it out. I think CD had a couple drops, but going forward, I'm excited to see what happens, and appreciate you taking the call. I'll talk to you later.
All right, thanks, Esteban. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and try to, pump sunshine into this running game like, oh, this is great, no problems. It may not be. It may be the one thing that still needs to really be cleaned up, and I don't know. Where do you go from that? They have options. They did pick up Dalvin Cook, and they're getting him ready to go, and I think before too long he'll be an option too. So, and I think the running, the Cooper Beebe and Tyler Guyton and these guys, have to kind of get better as well. So I think it's kind of is what it is. You've got some backs, you've got older guys, you've got younger guys, you've got short guys, you've got a Rico Dowdle who can do a little bit of everything. You've got young linemen. You're just trying to get this thing going. It might be a process that has to take some time, and they have to get better and better and hope that the passing game can score some points and really help aid the running game as well. But I don't know if there's a lot of things you could really do at this point to change it. All right, Rob in Vegas.
Hey, Nick.
What's up, Rob?
How's everything?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Big weekend in Vegas. You got UFC at the Sphere, which is going to be kind of cool. So,
who's fighting? Is that O'Malley?
Yeah. O'Malley's on the card. I mean, I haven't been to the Sphere, but I hear it's wild. So I'm just curious how they're going to do it.
Yeah.
I know they paid $20 million to have it there, so it must be pretty nice.
Cool. Well,
watching that game last night, I think the Cowboys should get on the phone with Miami and see, hey, you want Trey Lance? Let's see.
What if that's not who they want?
Well, you got to make the phone call. I mean,
but I'm saying, what if they call you, and what if it's Cooper Rush? What are
you willing to give up for Cooper Rush? What would you think? Fifth?
I would give up I would ask for a third, because I don't need to move him. I don't. That's my point, is that, like, that's probably too rich, but I'm not the one needing a quarterback. You're the one needing a quarterback. So.
Oh, I agree. If Miami calls and says they're willing to give a third for Cooper Rush, I'd do it immediately.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, it's kind of like Dak saying, I don't need to sign. If you want to pay me $60 million a year, then I'll sign.
Yeah, I mean,
it's one of those things.
The other caller who said, he's disappointed in the deal, and maybe he's thinking he was going to take 45, 50. Where'd you come up with that? I mean,
right. I mean, yeah.
55. If the number started at 55.
Yeah.
So I think, listen, you make the call. Who knows? I don't think Trey Lance will be back next year, because I don't think a 24-year-old wants to sit on the bench. I think he wants to have a chance to start. And any team that just says, hey, come in and fight for the job, I think he's gone. So the running game, there's not too many teams that have a great running game. That the league is different now. We don't need a great running game.
Right.
We need a good running game. And we had a good running game the first game. I mean, it was good. It got over 100 yards. We talked about it, ran it in from, the 3-4 yard line. We just need a good running game. How they do it, it really doesn't matter to me.
Right. Well, I'm with you. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Go ahead with your next point.
And my prediction for the game last week, I had Turpin. This week, CeeDee Lamb and Dak, I think, are going to make a statement. I think they're a little disappointed in their performance. And I think the final score is Dallas 30-17. I think the crowd, I just think this defense is just going to keep better. And I don't see this team, they're going to average around 30 or so a game, and I see 30-17.
30-17?
Yeah.
Did you say, I was looking at last week, what did you say about Turpin?
I said Turpin was going to be a game changer. He's going to make a play. He's going to do something that's going to change the game. I wasn't sure, I thought it'd be more on the passing, but it was great to finally see, a guy that he was so close on so many, punt returns. So I just had a feeling Turpin was going to do something. So this week, I just think I think it's the Dak CD show. I think last week they were a little off. Dak kind of said it in his press conference, and I think at home, I just think it's going to be them.
Okay. Well, last week, I went back to look. I have you down. I have a 24-20 score, and I wrote Kendricks. I guess you talked right. I should have written down Turpin. Big play, Turpin. Not that I don't believe you. I do. I think you nailed the contract to the penny for CD. So you've got that working. But now I got a CD Dak show. I like it. I like when you guys throw out some predictions out there. It's always good. It's always fun to be right every once in a while, and then for you, look more than once in a while. So, all right, Rob, thank you for the call. Good insight there. Let's go to somebody that hasn't called much in the last couple hours. Is Pete in Connecticut?
Nick, how's it going, bud?
Pete, it's going well. Here's the thing. Get all of your points in right now. This is it. Because yesterday, it's funny if you didn't watch yesterday's show. Pete didn't just call once or twice, 3 times. 3 Pete from Connecticut.
They call me 3 Pete.
Man. So I'm gonna ask you, get all your points in today, and because you never know. Maybe you can call back in, but you had it working. There's people that haven't called in and hadn't gotten through in like a month, and you got in 3 times. That's awesome. What do you got for us?
All right, Nick. So 3 quick points. 1, I'm very excited to see Hunter Lipke get some playing time in because I think he's a junkyard dog like Ferguson. And 2, with the recent injury of Tua, do you think there's any chance Dallas gets a phone call for a potential trade for Trey Lance? All right, man. Have a great day. Let's go, Cowboys.
Thank you. We just talked about that a little bit. Trey Lance or Cooper Rush or whatever. I don't think. I wouldn't trade for Lance if I was another team. One thing that we've seen from him, he needs to be in a system and he needs to be able to kind of get better and better with it. He didn't right away just go into San Francisco and light things up. He came here for a year and he was on the scout team, and then we saw even in preseason games. And so it's been about a year and a half at that point, and we saw a guy still kind of, I wouldn't say struggling all the time, but he's just trying to figure it out. So to trade for him to go play in a new system, I don't know. That seems like that wouldn't be. And then he's a free agent, so you wouldn't get a lot for it. But maybe teams would want to do that, and that would be their way of getting an inside track to maybe sign him for next year. Who knows? But I don't know. I don't know what Miami's thinking right now. Every team in the league's got one backup, maybe 2. So they're probably looking at that. And they are a team that needs to figure it out. Because they have enough talent. They have enough. They've got firepower there at receiver that they've got to make sure they get some guys in here. a guy in there that can help. Again, this is not Dolphin storyline here. So but if it does affect the Cowboys, I'm just saying there might be shows like this around the league where they're like, do you think they'll be calling for this backup or this backup? I would think Cooper Rush has one of the best winning percentages of any backup in the league. I mean, it's a smaller sample size, but it's. I mean, was he 6-1, something like that as a starter? I mean, that's probably the best of any backup quarterback in the league. And that's probably the best of any quarterback in the league. Again, he hasn't played a whole lot, but when he's in there and he's had guys around him, and that's the key. You go to a place like that where you got guys around him. But if the Cowboys were calling for Trey Lance, I would say, all right, what do you got? But if they were calling for Cooper Rush, it would have to be pretty high. I mean, like I need my backup. So if you're gonna try to take him, you better ask for a lot. So that's the way I look at it. All right, let's take a break real quick on Cowboys storyline. We'll be right back.
Are you the 2024 Dallas Cowboys Fan of the Year? The Dallas Cowboys and Captain Morgan are celebrating extraordinary, inspiring, and original fans. Nominate yourself or the biggest Cowboys fan you know for a chance to be named the 2024 Fan of the Year and win prizes, including a trip to Super Bowl 59. Visit DallasCowboys.com/Fan of the Year. Go Cowboys!
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
Come shop at the Star in Frisco on Saturday, September 28th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Flea Styles Market at the Star, presented by Marketplace by Michaels. Admission is free. Visit stardistrict.com for more information. That's September 28th. Not to look ahead. We don't look ahead on this show. We focus straight on what we've got going on, and what we have going on is Cowboys Saints on Sunday at noon, AT&T Stadium. Let's hear from Michael in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Well, my question, it sounds like somebody's already asked. I think we could get a running back from the Dolphins for Cooper Rush. But let me ask you this, since I'm sure you already been talking about that. Well, how about Ferguson? Is Ferguson looking like he's going to be playing against the Saints, or are they going to give him a week off?
I would guess that he does not play. Again, this is Friday morning. If you're watching this later, and not live Friday at 10:30 Central, they don't have a full practice today. They do like walkthroughs and stuff, and they will have an injury report later this afternoon. And I have a feeling that he won't play, but I would be surprised if they ruled him out right now. And so maybe he's questionable. Doubtful, but I would have a hard time thinking they rule him out. But to me, I would just think, because he did not practice Wednesday or Thursday, and he said he heard a pop in his knee. Now, he doesn't feel anything right now, but he was wearing a brace yesterday, did not practice. I just feel like they probably won't play. But I hope I'm wrong, but I hope he's obviously healthy for it. So.
I hope they don't need him. I hope they're good without him, to let him have a week to rest.
Yeah, and you might be right. I mean, I haven't seen that out of Schoonmaker, but I'm curious. I want to see that. Like, I really want to see him as the starter and see what happens. He just hasn't shown us yet that really anything. I mean, he had a touchdown against Carolina last year, but. Down the seam. It was a nice play, and he's a good blocker. But I'd like to just see him with a little bit more opportunities, and maybe this will give him a chance to do that. So,
well,
all right.
Thank you for that.
All right, Michael. And thanks for the call. Nobody we hadn't talked about an actual trade for a running back, and we won't get into specific names. We don't want to talk about other names from other teams, but we didn't talk about a trade for a running back from the Dolphins. I know I guess they have a few, but yeah. And again, I don't know if the Cowboys are looking to do that. They don't know what they have just yet in Rico Dowdle. They want to give him an opportunity. He knows the system. He's been here. And they feel like he can be a good player. The same with Zeke. Now you also have Deuce. You want to give him some opportunities. Then you got Dalvin Cook there. So that's why I just don't see them trading for someone unless you're trading for a running back that's like, okay, he's the guy. He's the starter. He's on his last year of his deal. He's 26 years old. He's going to be a free agent next year. That's why we're getting him for a 4th-round pick. That makes sense if you're going that route. If you're going to do like an Amari Cooper type of trade like they did, okay. But I just don't even see that being the case because teams don't value running backs that way. And then you'd have to try to re-sign them next year. But we'll see. I wouldn't rule out anything there. All right, let's go to a Champ in the 308 area code, which is Nebraska. Champ in Nebraska.
Hey, Nick. Happy Friday. How's it going?
Good, Bet. How are you doing?
I am wonderful. Getting ready for my daughter's Sweet 16 birthday party tonight.
Wow.
I got the day off,
All
so
right.
finally got a chance to call in.
Congrats with that.
Hey, a couple things. Thank you. The caller they called about Dak's contract, I agree to him to a certain point, the money part. I don't agree that he's not worth it. I just think that, this is my belief, no one on this planet is worth $60 million a year.
Yeah, get that out of
But
the way. Yeah.
that's the market.
Right.
That's what it is, and he's earned it. Now he's got to go and prove it. He wins a Super Bowl, everyone's going to say it was totally worth it, and I think he can do it.
Yeah. Well, that's
number
the
2.
key. That's the key right there.
Last year, the Super Bowl. Last year, week 3, we had a huge letdown against an Arizona team that I think we expected to just go in and walk all over. I'm not expecting that they're thinking that we expect to just go in and walk all over New Orleans this week. But I think we have a strong possibility that we could beat these guys. Listening to some of the other shows, they talk about their defensive scheme and how we have an opportunity to make a statement. I don't think we can go in there, have that letdown. We go in there, take care of business, have a big week 2 win, and get ready for that game next week against the Ravens. And I think we're setting ourselves up early in the season yet, but we're setting ourselves up for a good role.
Yeah.
I appreciate the time. I'm going to get back to helping my wife with this party. I hope everybody has a great weekend,
All right.
and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you. Well, by the way, your wife doesn't. She says she needs your help, but she's not going to take any of your suggestions. So you can just be there for support. But if you say, I think it needs to be like this, she's going to be like, mm-hmm. So it doesn't really matter. Just being there is fine. But probably not gonna matter what you have to say. But unless you have to lift something, carry something, I get it. Been there. All right. I agree about the Dak part. And again, $60 million a year. Yeah. If you think in that terms, then you're just wasting time because, the Cowboys could give Dak a steal at $33 million a year, which is also in the realm of, wow, somebody makes that kind of money. So look at it from a standpoint of, now he's the number 1 paid quarterback in the NFL right now, and if you want to have a problem with that, fine, but understand how it works. I think it was the same. Maybe he was number 2 when he was $40 million a year. And he got to 14th at some point in his career. At some point in the last few years, he got to he's the 14th highest paid quarterback. That will happen. Teams will keep jumping him, or players will jump him. That's just the nature of it. That's the way it is. It's my turn, and then it's your turn, and that's how it goes. So, all right, let's go to Bob in Rio Grande Valley.
Morning, Nick. Great show.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate I got in. A couple of something I'm going to throw out for you to consider, but before I do that, I'm going to state this. It's obvious if you live in the Valley. There's going to be more Cowboy flags flying down here this weekend, and particularly tomorrow or Sunday, than there are Lone Star flags. The other thing I want to point out is we got a chance to really get some breathing room in our division this week. This game I'm going to be watching, in addition to the Cowboys game, and keeping an eye on, is Atlanta against Philadelphia. I think Atlanta's got a real good chance of winning that ball game. I'd like to know what you think. Thanks for having my call. Have a great weekend.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Me personally, I don't start thinking division until November. I just don't. I mean, there's so much that can happen. I mean, no, don't get me wrong. When the Eagles are playing, I'm for the other team. I want the other team to win. I mean, unless it just very late in the season, there's something crazy and they need to win to help you in the playoffs or whatever. Even then, it would probably be difficult. But so I'm always rooting for the other team. That's just the way it is, right? That's the way it always is. But I'm not necessarily looking at that because the minute you say that, like you think that Atlanta is a team that could beat them, my first thought is, oh, really? Well, when's that game? Because the Cowboys got to go up to Atlanta. If Atlanta can beat the Eagles, then and I'm not putting that game on my list of like, ooh, watch out for the Falcons. Again, any road games it can be a challenge, but. So my point is I'm not necessarily looking for that. I'll be watching that game probably for fantasy football purposes or something like that. But I'm not really ready scoreboard watching on what happens, in the division. But I think it's a Monday night game, so yeah, I'm sure I'll be watching that. Trying to think the other point that he just said. I lost it because I wrote down my point from the caller before, Champ in Nebraska. He said something about Arizona game last year, and we've mentioned it again. I just don't think the Cowboys are at that point to be overlooking anyone, and I don't think that they will. And I'm not sure if they overlooked Arizona. I think it was just it was a weird week. A lot of injuries happened in the middle of the week. That was a really, really tough game for the Cowboys to happen. All those injuries and all that uncertainty from Thursday to kickoff. They didn't anticipate losing their cornerback and their left tackle and their right guard. They lost the center too, so it just was a bad timing of it. Yeah, you say next man up, but you'd like for them to practice. That's the key. Yeah, next man up is always good, but next man up for practice. Next man up in the middle of the game, it's a challenge. I mean, it always is because the backups don't get as much practice, and so and it showed in that game again. No excuses. You got to go win the game. I think this is just a different scenario, and I don't see the Cowboys overlooking New Orleans at all. All right, let's go to Greg in Sacramento.
Hey, Nick. Good morning. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. 2 times in 1 week, so that's a good sign.
That's good. Good job.
What I wanted to ask was, what do you think Deuce Vaughn's role is going to be, kind of more in the run game? Like, I know he's kind of showing up as a really good special teams guy, but do you think they're gonna incorporate him at all in the running game, like at all this season, or
yes.
Do you think it's just going to be the Zeke and Rico Dallas show?
No, I think Deuce is gonna get some carries. I think he'll be involved.
So.
I think he'll be involved. I'm looking up. I'm looking up his spot here on the media guide. I wanted to see what he did last year because it's not going to be too hard for him to have career highs, but I think that he will in this game.
Yeah.
I think he'll have the most touches that he's had in a game. I mean, he didn't really do a lot. He had 23 carries last year. That seems surprising to me. I would have guessed.
Yeah, same to me.
5. Like 23, is that right? 23 carries in last year. I know that's not.
Is that including the preseason?
No, that's not the preseason. And he caught 7 passes. I would, if you said that he touched the ball 30 times last year, I would have said no way. I don't remember that. I know that's not a lot. I mean, that's averaging, less than 2 touches a game. But even that, I mean, he only played 7 games. So, I mean, he was inactive for the other 9. So that does surprise me a little bit. But anyways, I think he'll get more touches this week. I really do. I think they're going to try to get him involved. And I'd like to see him on kick return. I know that they put Wanye back there, but when they kick it,
I'd like to see him on return too.
Yeah.
Because he's fast.
He's fast, and I don't think that if you kick it at Turpin, I think they wanted Wanye to get up there and help with the blocking and all that, but I just don't think you have enough time to get over there and help anyway. So I don't think that other returner is really going to get in there and get in the mix. You want Turpin to go north. So but my point is that I don't think they're really going to ask the other returner to do anything. And so, you saw what Turpin did last week. I think they're going to kick it at Wanye. They'll kick it at the other guy. Hey, Wanye might surprise me, but I'd like to see Deuce back there. I'd like to see them both back there. So,
I agree. And if I could just make a real quick prediction,
yeah,
I think it's going to be 28-13 Cowboys.
28-13. All right, sounds good. Yeah. Thank you so much, Greg. Appreciate that. We do have a caller on the line, but I'm going to go to break. One more break here on Cowboys Storyline. We'll be back. We've got Zach in Atlanta waiting. We're going to go to break. We'll be right back for that.
Are you the 2024 Dallas Cowboys Fan of the Year? The Dallas Cowboys and Captain Morgan are celebrating extraordinary, inspiring, and original fans. Nominate yourself or the biggest Cowboys fan you know for a chance to be named the 2024 Fan of the Year and win prizes, including a trip to Super Bowl 59. Visit DallasCowboys.com/Fan of the Year. Go Cowboys!
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
On September the 14th, check out Rally Days presented by SeatGeek. That would be tomorrow. Rally Days at AT&T Stadium. It's at the Miller Lighthouse. You can go enjoy some activities there, get behind-the-scenes tour of the stadium and more. Visit AT&TStadium.com/Rally Days for more information and get your tickets today. All right, let's keep it rolling here. We got a few more minutes, maybe 10 or so. We got Zach in Atlanta. He's been waiting. Zach, what's up, bud?
Hey, what's going on, Nick?
How are you?
I'm great, man. We're talking football. It's not Justin Rogers anymore. It's not contracts and what-ifs anymore. We're just in football season, and it feels really good.
Yeah, that's right.
Feels great.
Feels great.
So I love it. I think this weekend will be kind of like last. People talking up the Saints this week. I think kind of like the Browns. Maybe they've got something more. Maybe they don't have as much as what people are saying. And so I think we're going to win all right, maybe 29-14, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And ahead of this game, I was reflecting on old Cowboys-Saints games. My first game was a Cowboys-Saints in 2014. But rewinding it further than that, Julius Jones had a big run, touchdown run against the Saints. And so in honor of Julius Jones, do you have any thoughts, stories, or comments on 21? And with that, I'll hang up. Thanks.
Thank you for the call. That play right there, YouTube it. Julius Jones touchdown against the Saints. It was 06. It wasn't a fun game because, that was the one that Sean Payton came in here and they just blew him out. But that play that Julius Jones, this was like a 77-yard touchdown. Go back and watch Terrell Owens on that play. Terrell Owens was a guy, obviously, great receiver, big, strong guy, and he made all these kind of plays. Run after catch was amazing. I think his pure speed didn't ever get mentioned as much as it probably should have with him. Then some of that's on him because he was always a show. But his speed, he could still run today. I think he still tries to. Just go back and watch that run. Julius Jones, a nice touchdown run, 77 yards. But T.O.'s flat. If I remember, he's flat-footed. He's trying to block, and the next thing you know, he's oh, okay, we're running. Well, watch this, and just takes off. It's pretty cool to see. That's what I remember about that. But if you're asking me about Julius Jones and plays like that, his rookie year, he only played like 7 or 8 games, but he had some runs in there. Like, he looked fantastic his rookie year. And then he had a high ankle sprain his second year, and I thought him and Parcells kind of got sideways in how they rehabbed it, and he never really was the same. Of course, he did break off a 77-yard touchdown run like in 06, but in his rookie year, I mean, he had a run against the Giants in the last game of the season where it was probably a 5-yard run, but he went way, way outside just to get the angle, and he made it. I mean, he had some really, really nice plays. I liked watching him. I thought he was going to be better, and I wish he was. Wish his career would have turned out differently. But if you go back and watch that play against the Saints, check out T.O. because he's like, I mean, he could have been a sprinter based off of that. All right, Dylan in Northport, Florida. Dylan.
Hey, Nick, how's it going? Can you hear me okay?
I can. I didn't think you were calling this week.
Yeah, I just got back just now from my cruise, man, so I just made it.
Nice.
Yeah, I ended up buying the internet package. I was having withdrawals from the Follow the Podcast, so I bought the internet package second to last day. Got all caught up. Now I'm good to go.
All right. Well, got your priorities in check. Love it. What do you think?
Yep. Yeah, I just want to, cruise through a couple of points here.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I know.
I got you.
I'm a dad, and you're a dad. I'm sure you can appreciate those dad jokes, right?
I appreciate it. I got it. Good stuff.
Dak and CD contracts, don't look at their, and I know you know this, but just for the callers, don't look up their average per year. Look at the cap percentage they're taking up. I go to overthecap.com. Their cap percentages don't equate to their annual per year. So just a quick point on that. And it's surprising what a small percentage they take up. It's like 25-30% most years instead of 50. So little tidbit there. Trey Lance, he's fighting for his NFL life right now. So I can't see the Dolphins calling for a guy that his very last tape he put on film, or his last play he put on film was 5 interceptions. He did some good things in that game too, but I can't see a team giving up a player or draft capital to get a guy like that, who's really just a Band-Aid anyways. And then the point I wanted to make to call about originally was the special teams is crazy right now because Brandon Aubrey, boy howdy, is that something. Even on kickoffs, he's doing these knuckleball, like line drive type kicks, right? The guy bobbled the ball twice, and I mean that's twofold because you might get a fumble there.
Right.
Also, they got to stop and catch the ball, right? So that gives your team a chance to get down there closer before you even start returning the ball. So he's got that, and then on the flip side, obviously you got Turpin, you got a real chance to score there. So teams got to decide on this kickoff: am I going to kick it to him and give him a chance to score? Am I going to kick out of the back of the end zone? And if they kick out of the back of the end zone, Cowboys are like 2 first downs away from field goal range. So this special teams is crazy dynamic right now, and such a strong point on this team.
That is a really, really good point. That's a good point, Dylan. Thanks for the call. I mean, it's just something that people don't always talk about. You know, it's just easy to say offense and defense, but it's always been special teams as well. And that, to me, it is the reason why it's not the reason. It's one of the reasons why this team has won 12 games 3 years in a row. I mean, it's continuity and what they have with their special teams with John Fossil and the fact that, like you said, field position. You don't think about stuff like that. You don't think about, you know, why if he's if when you're kicking off that knuckleball kick you're talking about, yeah, they may not catch it and cleanly, and that's going to take some time. And if they decide that they don't want to catch it and it rolls into the end zone from like the 5 in the end zone, that was a perfect kick. That is the ideal perfect kick for this rule because that means the ball gets put on the 20. So that's exactly what you're trying to do. If they want to catch it, cool. They may not. They may fumble it, and you may get it, or you may tackle them down inside the 20. So that's certainly the plan there, and they just have such a weapon. And don't forget Anger as well. I mean Brian Anger. I mean what he's doing, and I mean he can angle these punts and with hang time, and you're not really getting a huge return. Now they did give up a little bit in this last game. That was something from a punt return standpoint. But I think for the most part, though, you've got 3 weapons there in Turpin, obviously Aubrey, and then Anger as well. All of them have been in the Pro Bowl, so that is something that these games are going to be close, and you got to be able to win the special teams battle. All right, let's go to Sebastian in Savannah, Georgia.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing real well. I'm just calling to give the weekly scouting report for the opposite team. I actually sat through that travesty. That was last week. But don't be fooled, guys. I think the Saints are sneakily better than we give them credit for, right? First off, Alvin Kamara can still scoot.
Yep.
And their offense, what they do is they bunch you up, and then they spread you out once they start moving. So we got to bottle up Alvin Kamara. You really got to watch out for Taysom Hill. No, he's not Travis Kelce, nor is he Cam Newton, but he is a dangerous weapon on their team. And then they have that the receiver Snead, kick and burn. He's like Turpin for us. He flies.
Yeah.
So we can bottle that up because I think the strength of their team is the offense, and their defense is decent. We can run against them, but we're going to need somebody with a little bit more speed running this week. I'd love to see Deuce get 3 or 4 carries as well. I think he earned it last week with that beautiful block that he put on 12 for Turpin. But you guys have a great week. I had a really good time watching the games last week. It was very exciting. Love what you guys are doing. Have a great day.
Thanks. Appreciate it, Sebastian. As always, calling in. Good stuff. And, I don't know if anyone, at least no one that I'm hearing here is overlooking them that much. Most of the scores I see, 10, 12, 13 points. I'm a little surprised with the Vegas line of 6.5. They know more than us typically. They get it wrong some too, but I do think the Cowboys are going to win by 2 touchdowns or double digits. I think I have it 34-23. That is my score that I picked. And that game, that's a close game. If the Cowboys score late to put the game away, so it's going to be a challenge. And I agree. I think the weapons that they have, the Saints have, is things you really got to watch out for. But the good thing about the Cowboys defense is they have weapons too. They have defensive backs that can make play on the ball with good hands. They've got a couple of pass rushers that have made the Pro Bowl this last year. One of them All-Pro in Micah Parsons, and now they've got a little bit more beef in the middle where you have to watch for them as well. So it's going to be a really good matchup. I think it'll be a much better test for both teams than what they had last year. And you're right about Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill, they didn't show anything with Carolina. Why would you? You're blowing them out. You don't need to put that on tape of what they have in store for him. All right, last caller here. And it'll be our 13th caller on Friday the 13th. Love it. Robbie in Cocoa Beach, Florida. Robbie, what's up?
What's up, my friend? As Anthony from Miami says, what's up, Nick the Quick?
That's right.
Hey, happy Friday, brother. Happy Friday, 13th. Hey, listen, at first I got to apologize to you.
Uh-oh.
So when I called in on Tuesday, I asked questions that other people had already asked, and I may do that again today, but I hope not.
It happens. Not you guys can't always. You're trying to call. You can't be listening.
Yep,
all the time.
That's it.
I get it. That's fine. I repeat myself all the time. Sounds good.
All right. First of all, how's Jake and the rest of the family? Hope good.
He's doing good. He's doing good. He's ready for a second game. Had a good practice yesterday. All-time center. Had a couple of targets in his last game, and one was a little low, one was high. He didn't get it, but let's see what he does this week.
All right. Let's hope the best for him. I'll pray for him.
Let's go,
about
Robbie.
the Cowboys. About our Cowboys. Listen, man. I hope that this game we get to see what our run defense or our run offense looks like against a team that was not the number one against rushing last year, so we get a better look at it and see what's actually going on.
Yeah, I think so.
And my prediction is I think we're going to put 2 field goals with 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, so 34-24, something like that.
All right. Sounds good. That's about what I've got as well.
All righty, man.
All right,
well, have a great weekend and enjoy the game on Sunday. It's an early one, so enjoy it, my friend.
All right. Thank you, Robbie. Appreciate that. All right. Good stuff. Like I predicted, 13 callers on Friday the 13th. You guys did a great job. It's been a great week. Thanks for all of the calls. We will get after it on Monday when we'll talk about Cowboys and Saints. So for Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eben. We'll see you next week on Cowboys Storyline. See ya.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!